voice of the Cape Cod Baseball League.
For the final time in the regular season, we say hello from Whitehouse Field. Welcome to Harwich and Wareham, the third of these meetings between the two teams. Welcome on in to an abbreviated version of the Leadoff Spot with Jack Hunter. Blank, good to have you with us. Looks like we're going to play some baseball tonight, and boy, could the Gatemen use a win. Feels like we've said that the last bunch of nights, and it has stayed true.
Well, the Gatemen losing 18-0 last night. Since the league has started keeping track of universal stats since 2011, there's been no team that has had a bigger shutout loss than what happened last night, 18-0. Thanks to Chris Toms, the league statistician, for that note. And also, too, Harwich almost got no hit. They lost 12-0. It's the first time also in that 12-season span, where two teams have been shut out and lost by a double-digit margin in the same day. So these two teams both in desperate need of a win.
Gatemen go to Riley Eichhoff. He's been pretty consistent this summer. If someone's going to get a win, probably going to be him.
Yeah, starting pitching has not been there really for the Gatemen. There have been a few guys that have had some promising-ish starts recently, but Riley Eichhoff again, last Friday versus Brewster, very strong. 5 innings, 3 earned runs. Really the only blemish to his outings were 2 solo home runs, and you can live with giving up solo home runs. Those won't beat you.
Riley was the last Gateman starter to get a win. Riley was pitching the last time the Gatemen got a win last Friday, 1 week ago, and he'll try to get another tonight. Let's hear what the manager thinks. Ryan Smyth and Amanda Foster on the leadoff spot.
Back on the manager's show with Ryan Smyth and Coach last night. Obviously a tough loss, not something that you want to repeat. So what needs to happen to prevent that from ever happening again?
Oh, jeez. What needs to happen to prevent that? I don't know if you could have prevented that. Listen, we've lost some games, and in most of the games that we've lost, we've been right in there with them. And we really haven't been routed like that for the most part almost all summer, it feels like. So I feel like every summer, every team gets one of those. These guys got it last night as well. It was one of those days. No matter what we threw at them, they were hitting it. And hopefully we do the same thing tonight.
Well, and it kind of goes without saying, how important is it to just have a solid outing tonight after last night?
Again, even after some rough losses earlier on this year of how these guys bounce back, we've been in those games that next day. I'm glad we got this in today because after a night like last night, you want to just play. Forget about it, move on to the next game and play. Last thing I want to do is sit around all day and think about last night.
I do have to ask, kind of when going through these losses, how much of it is something that you, your staff, the players it's like a quick fix kind of going to the next day?
I think it could be a really quick fix. You get back into the win column on any given night, you can go on a run the opposite way. We've done it before, and hopefully we just get a win on the road and we do it again. I think getting a win on the road would spark something really, really cool for this team. So we'll see. We'll hopefully get it tonight.
And you've got Riley Eichhoff starting tonight. What do you need to see from him?
Same kind of outing he had last time. He was efficient. He was in the zone. He threw 3 or 4 pitches for strikes, really kept the guys off balance. He worked fast, which was really good for our defense. I hope to see the exact same kind of start.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Back on the leadoff spot, the West and East Division standings, as you can see right there. Jack, what do you like in the East?
Well, what I don't like from the Wareham perspective is that 4 out of the 5 teams in the East are under 500. So you look at Wareham and they're 22 points. They'd be right in the mix there in the East, and yet they're crawling from the basement in the West. So for the East, YD is just keeping Harwich around. So Harwich, with a few good games in a row, could really be contending for that top spot.
In the East Division, things are getting really tight. You've got Cotuit at the top. They have 20 wins. They're the first team to 20 wins in the season. Then you've got the next 3 teams, Bourne, Hyannis, and Falmouth. Hyannis and Bourne now tied for second, and Falmouth not far behind, just 3 points back of that. Wareham, it's going to be an uphill battle to chase any of those teams for the last spot. Good news is they play those teams a decent amount in the month of July.
Yeah, well, Ryan Smyth was talking, he's saying every other team in the West is getting hot, so it's our time to do it as well. And these next 1, 2, 3 games, we were talking about it last night too, are kind kind of do or die for the season. You're 6 points down in last place. Falmouth is playing hot. Hyannis and Bourne are holding their own, and Cotuit's doing their thing. So if you want to keep pace with them or try to make up ground, which you're going to need to do, you got to win these next few games.
Let's break. First pitch when we come back.